schedule another person.
Sausage biscuit?
We went to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yep, that's right. Yes, please. Is that regular or beef?
Hello.
Hi, I want to get a sausage McMuffin and a large coffee. Oh, are the food refills activated again? Oh, they are? Okay.
muffin and a small coffee?
I ordered a large coffee.
Or what's the lunch?
Yeah, large.
There you are.
Thank you very much.
Morning.
get so tired trying to write them checks, I just write parts on this one. What are they gonna do, change their name again next week? You see CarQuest change their name, Advanced Auto Parts.
No, they bought it out.
Yeah.
Hardwood bought business out.
Yeah. And then years ago, they bought Custody, which was them on Woodstock. Now, Bruce worked for them for 33 years last week. 33 years.
Still right.
No. So I just write whatever's in. I put parts on one day. That's what it was. I told somebody, oh, Sherry was coming. I said, hell, there's no money in the bank anyway. Who cares what you write when there's no money in the bank? One guy taught me the other day, I've been in business longer than me, or old. Oh, I started 68, and they weren't even born until the late 80s. I can't get it in my brain. You see that 1992 is when 21 years is when you buy alcohol. It seems like yesterday, 92. To me. I did. I just walked across the street when I was at Lee's office. They walked across the street, there was a big gas beer and carry it over. They charged it. They wanted to post it. It was Mommy's grocery store. It is cop. Man, I can use the beer. I said, well, wait a minute, I'll go get you one. Come back to the case of beer he had set. I said, well, you got the beer, did you? Yeah. So I got it. get some rain. I got the phone truck going up this afternoon. Yeah, another friend of mine, Pat. He's a licensed electrician. Ended up in a company job over here. He got a small tow truck, he got tired. He's got so many things going on. What he needs is a big shop to put the electrician to. What he's a hasher anyway. You know what I mean? Yeah. When he's done, let's just before he started. Yeah, I went and had lunch on the shelf yesterday. Turn around, stuff. Went down to Mexican place there on right there on the corner. Little place. Oh, God. Yeah. Good food. I had rice and pork three different kinds on top all melted. What happens to the flight? They'll fly. That came down What? You want to move that blanket? What? Is that small? We're going to make sure. Any 80 degree hours fire, go 2 hours. Okay. Sure was. Call me on my cell phone. And said you might probably rank something that box of jail. That's one thing I asked. This is up and wrong. They keep putting all cancer in it. You know, they said all the county clerk, all the other clerk, judge, secretary. How long you want to go to the street?
Keeping your powder dry? Keeping your powder dry?
I hope so.
The musket won't fire if it's wet.
I got a kick out of this one guy called me up yesterday, says, I'll bring my tow truck home tomorrow. It's going to be raining all day tomorrow. Why didn't you bring it over last week when I told you it was raining? I want that big one, I can't get it inside or. I didn't want to work, but like, I try to get myself. I know that you big get in like a big trailer. Yeah. You have a nice day.
Well, he called me and he asked me, he says, is it going to rain tomorrow? I said, yeah. He said, okay, I wanted to make sure before I took my truck.
People work backwards, like a friend of mine, he does roofing, he waits until the middle of winter, go put the roof on. All summer long, he's skiing and water skiing. And then his crew don't want to work.
Yeah.
I don't blame him.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I worked for a tree guy one time, he never would have cut a tree down with a wind blowing. I said, that's stupid. He's got a good face in it, it's still gonna go where it wants to, Mother Nature will dig it.
Yeah. No, he said that roof guy ought to pick up snow skiing, you know, instead of water skiing.
Yeah. He does both. And he wonders why he never makes so money. Going to American Legion. Start skiing. Well, I think it's funny that that's my brother's wife. Don't have no part of it.
Didn't say much for him.
So I went and tell her, hey, I got a car I'm gonna get too. Do I get ahead of Garcia? Yeah, my brother said take her with you.
Yeah, let's keep it in the family.
Yes. You know, my sister-in-law took care of me when I got hurt in the wrestling. My brother thought he was bragging. He said, you both ought to go bragging. We had a while away before we got married here. Cameron and Sandy took care of me, went back to the vet. Oh, yeah, what?
Yeah. Well, my wife, when the state found out that she was married to me, they gave her a handicap sticker.
It took me 24 years to get one after getting ran over. Yeah, I left tigers, both legs in a cast and an arm, and it was
You had to go in a wheelchair, maybe.
I had to come home in a wheelchair. And then I fell out of the back of the van. They got sent back doors with a Dodge paddy wagon. Yeah, I'm looking in the middle of Sunnyside Road, upside down. I go back in and have a kid, put it back in my head.
You have one of those shirts that says, I'm into pain?
Yeah, I was in pain too, I remember that. They wouldn't let me have no brandy, whiskey, or
Okay, thank you, Lord, for this.
maybe that's why it's on top of the counter. Wet. We had K-Rad in 1948, 1941.
Keep a t-shirt? Up the desert, and he's all alone, and there's no woman around, is he still wrong? The answer is yes. Yeah. There's no relief.
I spent a half an hour trying to tell my daughter something. She was up to get a cop driver with no insurance. And she says, well, the car's insured. That's a friend of mine. I said, it does you no good at all. I said, yeah, it does. The car's insured. No, you have to have a vehicle. Your name was insurance, but they go after your insurance first.
Yeah.
Then they go after the other guy. Well, how come you drive everybody's truck and cars and everything? I have a commercial insurance policy. I have a flood people.
Yeah.
And the state can look it up anytime they want.
Yeah.
You don't even need license plates on it. But you better have a dealer plate.
That's right. That's good. Yeah. Yeah, what came in. You didn't go with salty? Oh, cut that ketchup. Oh, get this. Really fine food. He's not calling as much. He was trying to get out yesterday, and I said, we're not on a time limit or schedule. Why don't you just wait until you're over the top of the week? He's asking for it to go out in the wet, cold rain. He's so anxious to get that thing built, just kind of raining and stresses. Once you get the thing built, that's the workshop. That's what I thought he said he was going to do. Because I said I wanted to clear up my patio. such a mess. He's got dirt balls all over, he's walking, started washing those here a couple of days ago, started coming out of his pump. And, he's had a nice smile there the last few days. He comes over and asks me to do things for him. Because his mama's sick right now. It's like it's a handle. The service. He's doing it good. That's what I mean. He gets a technical certification right there, yeah. Yeah, because that's what his master's degree was going to be in. But I don't think he's going to be heading up the church. I think he really wants to do is become a prof at one of the colleges. Yeah, he needed something like 3 or 4 more years to get a retirement. Maybe that's one of the things why they decided to let him go. Because he was a true day off here. Their retirement pay is higher. And listen to me. Eventually, they sure just going to have to stay in it longer than we really wanted. Instead of 4 more years, we probably have to stay in another 10. And then we get the war, we can call it back to what I can do. Everybody in my household is sick. Kids, very good. Get me through. that's all we can ask.
Yeah, I don't succeed too many times, but I keep on trying. Have a good day.
You too. No, if I didn't have responsibilities I have, I would do it. Probably spend more time doing things for the church. Maybe moving some homes. And I probably take care of everything. You're doing that so long. Kids, I believe, work. Rather than have the money to do it. Even with the kids, I could do a small trip through the year. I'd have to really look at things, save up for the trip. And then I feel guilty about leaving them behind. Why would you be able to do that? Carol said, not for me, but I think he would be a desirable winner. If he is married.
Hi, can I get a free refill? Thank you. Thank you.
They had all kinds of it. It wasn't that they didn't die from lack of food. There was one shaman. He was confronting the shaman because of the meal time. He's been a greedy person who has gone in when somebody has their society believes that they help them meet all the time. And in the time of need, when the blizzards come and they can't get out of the house and they're low on their food supply, he is the only one that has guns. He's the only one that has he had plenty of food that he wouldn't share. He had plenty of food, he had wives, several wives, he kept them fat, he kept his dogs fat. He had plenty of food. And when they come knocking on his door, come get out of there and shoot it. So this Arthur confronts him and tells him, he tells him not to his face. I'm not afraid of you. Because everybody else is afraid of the evil tongue. He would bring the cascade up and pass them down and I don't beat them. And he was all of his good. He laid it on the stick and told him that he thought he was an evil person and because Go look at them. That's what's good. Go look at them. I mean that sincerely. Don't just pretend we know what we're doing. Well, no. I'm curious, how long do you think you could live without it? 5 minutes? My son cannot leave his alone for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Good girl.
This is Cherry Wager. The date today right now is I think it's the 13th of January 2016. The time currently right now is 8:06 in the morning. I was inside. I just came out of this McDonald's restaurant. I just had a sausage McMuffin and 2 cups of coffee. I have explained on many vlogs, I am a victim of a sting operation and I'm a victim of organized stalking. My wife and her side of the family got recruited by the Multnomah County Sheriffs in the year 2000 into sting operations, and they were targeting me and every member of my family. The sting operation that was targeting me and my family in the year 2000 was using a double to set me up as a pedo. They were targeting every member of my side of the family. The Multnomah County Sheriff recruited my wife and her side of the family into the sting operation. And the Multnomah County Sheriff brought in a double to impersonate me. And the Multnomah County Sheriff brought in some of their relatives, the Dunham family, who have a very long history of targeting me and members of my family. They brought in the Dunham family into the sting operation. They were specifically targeting my kids. The reason I'm recording right now, the reason why the majority of this video you can't really see anything, but you can hear talking going on, is because this camera that I'm using to record this vlog with is a GoPro camera. It's a relatively small camera and it fits in my pocket. And I am being gang stalked by sting ops no matter where I go. And I was expecting and anticipating being stalked here at McDonald's. When I entered the store in McDonald's this morning, which was probably around 6:15 in the morning, there were 3 or 4 people already in McDonald's, and these people are sting ops. All of them, with the exception of one, were like, older people, people my age or older. And but these people are sting ops, and they have been targeting me and stalking me pretty much everywhere I go. And I recognized one of them. I recognized one of them as a sting op. And so I automatically assumed all the rest of the people that were in McDonald's that earlier this morning were also sting ops. So when I went to the bathroom, I turned on my GoPro camera and I put it in my pocket. And then I went out into the McDonald's restaurant and made my order. One of the sting ops that I recognized to be a sting op, when I got in line to make my order, one of the sting ops got in line as well, and he tried to talk to me, making a statement about, he made some statement about, oh gee, they need to get another person in there. And I deliberately ignored him and did not respond to his statement. And I ordered a sausage McMuffin and a large coffee. And now after I got my food and beverage, I sat down at a table and I proceeded to eat my breakfast and have my coffee. And after all these sting ops got their orders, and they all sat at the tables surrounding my table, they all started going through this bullshit conversation with one another. Their bullshit conversation was completely staged on their part. They were deliberately and intentionally giving me messages. They were at certain points deliberately saying my name and then giving me a message. At no time did I talk to these people. At no time were they talking directly to me, with the exception of when I was in line to get my food and beverage. One of the sting ops made a statement directly to me, something about them maybe getting more people to service the people that were in line, and I basically just ignored that statement, and I didn't say anything to that person at all. I recognized the person as a sting op. Well, after all these sting ops got their orders and they got seated at the tables, and they did this right after I got seated at my table, they all started staging conversations. At times they're acting like they're law enforcement. At other times they're not acting like law enforcement. And they were deliberately giving me intentional messages. They made mention of my name probably 3 or 4 times throughout the entire time they're conversating. They also made mention, when they made mention of my name, they also mentioned SSI, of which I'm on SSI. So they said my name, Terry, and at least 3 or 4 times. And it would be very brief when they would say my name. They would make some very quick statement as though they want me. They think I'm overhearing their conversations and paying attention to their conversations. So they're talking normally or generally normally to one another, but then they'll make a brief statement where they'll say something like, "Well, Terry, blah blah blah," like that, and then they go back to their normal conversations. So it's like they're throwing in very brief statements. They made mention something about me losing my SSI. And they even mentioned my name, and they mentioned something to the effect that I won't have any money in the bank. So they made mention of my name, they made mention of the bank, they made mention of SSI, and they were basically flat out stating that I'm going to lose my SSI. So these sting ops are threatening to see to it that my SSI will disappear. Now this is a form of blackmail by sting ops that are not young sting ops. These sting ops are like in their 50s, 60s, that age range. Senior sting ops, obviously. If people want to know anything about sting ops, or at least the high-end sting ops, these sting ops are high-end sting ops. They're high-level sting ops. And they're deliberately and intentionally stalking me this morning, and they're deliberately and intentionally giving me hints. The whole time that I had this GoPro camera in my pocket, and it's recording, and it's catching their conversations inside McDonald's. The whole time, I didn't talk at all, with the exception of making my order for a sausage McMuffin and for a large coffee. And then I got a refill on my coffee. And I asked for a refill on my coffee. So that's the only time in there that I spoke. I'm not really speaking to anybody in there other than to the cashier where I make my order for my food and beverage. So pay very close attention to the conversations that are taking place in there. Every single person that was talking inside McDonald's was a high-level sting-off. Not all of them are in law enforcement. One or two of them are civilian operatives. That means, they have private or commercial jobs, and they're not in law enforcement. But they are relatives and people connected to law enforcement, and they operate as sting ops for law enforcement. Now, this was an act of intimidation and an act of force on their part via sheer numbers. So I was quite literally surrounded inside this McDonald's. You can see the McDonald's sign right there. Just so you can see that I am indeed. There's the drive through area right there, and there's the McDonald's sign. So as you can see, I am at a McDonald's, and I was inside this McDonald's. All the people inside McDonald's this morning were sting ops, that were customers anyway. One of the sting ops was having a very loud conversation with the manager inside McDonald's here. The manager, she's Mexican. She has a very strong Mexican accent. The sting op that was having this very loud, boisterous conversation with her, he was a very loud and obnoxious person. He's deliberately and intentionally being loud and obnoxious because he wants me to overhear what he's saying. Virtually everybody that was inside this McDonald's that were conversating was sting ops. Every single one of them. Now, I get here, I'm homeless. I woke up like around 5:30 this morning and immediately went to the bus stop to come here to get a cup of coffee and my breakfast. The McDonald's here in Portland, Oregon tend to open really early. They tend to open their doors around 5:15 a.m. usually around that area. So I knew I could get breakfast and a cup of coffee here. And because I'm followed and stalked by sting ops everywhere I go, they know my routine. They know where I go. They don't maintain a close presence when they follow me. They don't really have to because they know my routine. They'll just be in a vehicle and they'll follow the bus that I happen to be riding in. I don't have a vehicle of my own. I have to take the bus. So it's very easy for them to follow me. They already know my routine. And I'm partially paralyzed. I have to use a cane because I'm partially paralyzed for being poisoned by these sting ops. So when I'm on foot, it's not like I can go anywhere quickly to get away from these people. So it's really easy for them to follow me and to stalk me and keep track of my whereabouts. And this was a deliberate and intentional hinting that they were doing in my presence. And every time they do this kind of thing, they usually do it in numbers. In other words, there were several people in there that were sting ops. Not all of them were engaged in loud conversation. Some of them that were the ones that were sitting very close to me, like literally in the booth right behind me, they were deliberately whispering to one another so that I can't hear what they're saying, and I don't think that this camera caught what they were saying either. Although the camera might have this GoPro camera might have picked up the whispering to the point where you could hear people whispering. They were directly behind me. They're the younger sting ops that are essentially there to act as bodyguards to these older sting ops, you know, on the off chance that I might get pissed off and go into a rage and attack these senior high-level sting ops that were deliberately hinting at me. In other words, the senior high-level sting ops that are targeting me were deliberately giving me hints and giving me messages within the body of their conversation. The younger sting ops that were in there were not really being loud and not really trying to give me any messages. If anything, they're just staying close by me in case I decide to fight back. So in total, there are several of them that were in here this morning. There was about 3 of them that were basically doing all the talking, and it was these 3 sting ops that were doing all the talking were senior level, high level sting ops that were deliberately and intentionally giving me messages and hints. This you're not going to see much in the way of video with this video, but I highly recommend that people pay attention to the conversations that they were staging inside this McDonald's. And bear in mind that these people that were doing all the talking in McDonald's they're high-level sting ops. They're deliberately giving hints and specific messages deliberately to me, assuming I'm paying attention. They're assuming that I'm paying attention. They're assuming I can hear their conversations. So they're deliberately and intentionally in between their normal garbage that they're talking. They would throw in, they'll very quickly and briefly say my name and then make a very quick statement, like they'll make a statement about my SSI. But then they go back to their normal conversation again. And then they would mention my name after, 10 minutes, they would mention my name again, and they would make mention of there's no money in the bank. So that was their way of hinting they're going to take away my SSI. Technically it's a form of blackmail, and they're deliberately making it known via staged conversations with one another, and they wanted me to catch that. Well, this GoPro camera, I'm sure, also caught it. I didn't catch them on video saying it, but it is catching them on audio saying it. Now bear in mind that these people that were doing all the talking, they're high-level sting ops. They're around my age or older. There were younger sting ops in there, but they weren't doing any loud or boisterous talking at all. They're just there as muscle in case I decide to get out of my booth and beat the shit out of these high-level sting ops. They're armed. Some of them are in law enforcement. Some of them are not. Once again, the date today I think is January 13th. The time right now is 8:25 a.m. in the morning, and I quite literally got here around I'm going to assume around 6:30 in the morning. I will assume I got here at this McDonald's at 6:30 in the morning, and so some of the sting ops were already in the McDonald's, and they didn't have any food with them. All they had was coffee. And when I got in line to make my order, one of the sting ops got in line to get a refill on his coffee. Now, as I got my food and my coffee and I went and sat at the table, the moment I sat at my table, that's when more sting ops entered the McDonald's store. The sting op that was already in McDonald's, and he tried to strike up a conversation with me while I was in line by making a statement about they need more people at the counter, and I just deliberately ignored him. I recognized that guy as a sting op. I knew he was a sting op immediately and recognized him as a sting op. So there was already sting ops in McDonald's when I first walked through the door, and I noticed it right away. So when I went to the bathroom, I turned on my GoPro camera, and then I put my GoPro camera in my pocket and just left it recording to record any conversations that these people might make. Bear in mind, this isn't the first time they've done this to me. Probably won't be the last time. I'm familiar with their tactics. When I go to an establishment like a McDonald's or something, and there's already sting ops in the establishment waiting for me, then there's usually some form of staging that's going to occur. They'll either stage some sort of a fight, or they'll stage some form of harassment where they're harassing me, or they'll have staged conversations where they're giving me hints and messages. And that's the reason why when I went to the bathroom, I turned on my GoPro camera and turned it on to record, put it in my pocket, and then I went out to make my order and to sit down at one of the booths inside here at this McDonald's. After I got seated, more sting ops entered the McDonald's. These sting ops were obviously sitting in their vehicles out in the parking lot here at the McDonald's here. And after I got seated at the booth, that's when there were sting ops that were sitting in their vehicles outside of McDonald's. That's when they got out of their vehicles and came into the McDonald's. And then they made purchases themselves. And then they all sat at they all started sitting around at tables, generally surrounding me. These senior sting ops that are high-level sting ops, I hope you notice that are church people. They're not hiding the fact they're church people, and they're not hiding the fact that they were giving me intentional messages about me and my SSI. And they deliberately were hinting and implying they're going to take away my SSI. Now, bear in mind, this is in between all the other garbage that they're talking about. Like, they'll be talking about their job or something, or they'll be talking about some unusual situation. But then one of them will just say literally my name. They'll say, "Well, Terry's SSI," and then they just go back to their normal conversation again. And then after 5-10 minutes goes by, then they'll say, Terry, and then they'll say he'll have no money in the bank. Now that is their way of telling me in my presence I'm going to lose my. They're going to see to it I'll lose my SSI. That's a form of blackmail, people. It's illegal. That's a form of blackmail. They're intentionally making it known. No, see to it that I lose my SSI. Now that's blackmail, and they're not trying to fucking hide it. From me anyway, but they're trying to hide it from other people that might be listening, which is why they break up the message. And they were breaking it up. Now, listen to their cocky attitude. Pay very close attention to their attitude, and pay very close attention to not only what they're talking about, but how they talk about it. Because almost everything that they do and everything they talk about, everything to them is amusing. Everything to them is a sport. They were even talking about people that were incarcerated. And they're acting like, they're acting like law enforcement officers at that point. So bear in mind, these people are malicious, and these people are law enforcement, and they're also church people, and they're high-level sting ops. And they just had conversations for about, like, I would say probably a half hour, maybe 45 minutes before they left. And I had to wait for all of them to actually leave before I left the establishment, came out here and brought out this GoPro camera. Because I didn't want them to know the GoPro camera was still recording, or was recording during their conversation. I don't know how well this camera picked up their conversations. I hope it picked up their conversations well. I hope it did. But I don't. For whatever reason, these GoPro cameras doesn't seem to pick up audio all that well, and I'm disappointed in that. Video quality is really good with these GoPro cameras, but the audio, for whatever reason, seems to be not so great. I don't know why that is, but after these sting offs left, I had to kind of sit in there for about another 10 minutes where there's really no talking going on, because I had to wait for the sting offs to leave before I could come outside and bring out my GoPro camera so that I could explain all this to you guys. Because I didn't want them to know that my GoPro camera was already recording. If they see me now sitting here by Mcdonald's smoking a cigarette and talking to my GoPro camera, they're just going to assume I'm recording a vlog. They'll just assume I'm recording the vlog. I don't think they know yet that my GoPro camera was recording during their conversation. And that's what at least until I can get this video uploaded, that's what I'm trying to hide from them. There's a reason for that, but I can't say on this video at this time why. I might be able to say why later on in the video, but at a later time in the day, or maybe tomorrow, I might be able to say why. But I can't say why right now. On the off chance that they're paying attention to what I'm saying, I can't say why. Because I can't tip them off, and I'm not going to tip them off. But I would highly recommend anybody that's a victim of a sting operation pay very close attention to their conversation. These people that were talking inside McDonald's are high-level sting ops. They're like in their 50s or 60s. They're high-level sting ops. They're not low-level sting ops by any measure of the word. They're not even mid-level sting ops. They're high-level sting ops. And they were having fun giving me hints and messages in between their bullshitting with one another. And don't forget, pay very close attention to what they're saying, and bear in mind they're not hiding the fact they're religious people, they're church people, and they're law enforcement, and they're sting ops, and they're goddamn there to blackmail me by giving me threats and hints and messages implying that they're going to have my SSI taken away if I don't shut the fuck up. That's the message they were trying to give me at the beginning of when they first started. Not at the very beginning when they first started talking, but in between when they first started talking. They would blurt out my name and then briefly make a statement about my SSI, and then they would go back to their normal bullshitting. And then 10 minutes later, they'd mention my name again, and then they would talk about how there's no money in the bank. So what message are they trying to give me? And bear in mind, they're breaking up the message. They'll give me bits and pieces of the message throughout the course of their bullshitting conversation. So they're trying to be very, they're trying to hide the fact they're giving me these messages. And bear in mind that they treat the fucking over of people like it's a goddamn sport. They were talking about some people that they have incarcerated, and pay close attention to how they feel about those type of people that they already have incarcerated. They treat this like it's a goddamn sport. Okay, there's more people pulling up. I'm going to have to assume they're sting ops. I don't know yet if they are or not, but there's a bunch of people just pulled in the parking lot. 2 vehicles at the same time just pulled in the parking lot. I'm going to assume they know now that I'm recording this vlog, and they probably are curious as to what I'm talking about. I'm going to have to end this vlog right now.